show is not suitable for children, sensitive men, or insecure women. Can you trust somebody that doesn't take care of their kids?
I don't trust no man on earth that does not take care of their children.
What's the biggest red flag in a relationship?
Low effort and not being honest.
Most of the time, you would think that a bad financial mistake would be spending money on clothes or vacation or like spending money on women. My worst financial mistake was buying a home.
Game time. Game time. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Top of the top.
Back to it. Justice culture. Hey, brand Justice partner.
Culture. Salute. Salute.
Yeah.
Shout out to whoever sent me this t-shirt. Once again, I don't have the name. Truth. But man, the merch. That good merch. Need merch at all times. Tomorrow is a big day. We are dropping the Magic Johnson interview from Fest. 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Earn Your Leisure YouTube channel, all podcast outlets. Tap in early. Man,
how you feeling about it? I know. Ooh, boy,
feel good, man. Magic, he dropped a lot of gems, case studies, talked about his different wins and losses in business. Dream team, had the LeBron versus Michael Jordan debate.
Hello, he got that one right. Shout out to Bron. Bron, the first active player to get a Hall of Fame jacket. That's tough.
Chris Paul too.
Yes, that's Chris Paul. Yeah.
But yeah. Salute to Bron.
That's tough.
Salute to Bron for sure. Billy go in the game. Oh man, we got a lot to talk about today, so I ain't gonna waste too much time. We got the good brother Dee-1 coming on in a little bit. Anything you want to say?
No. Nope. Mid-roll.
We get right to it. Let's start out with playing this clip I put on my Instagram with we talked about it on Market Mondays a little bit, but Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping,
yep.
President of China, had a conversation, hot mic moment. Let's play that clip if we can.
本世纪呢，可能
Okay, so in that clip, Vladimir Putin is saying that, with organ transferring and stuff like that, the ability to actually live forever. And Ping was saying that, over this time frame that we're in now, life expectancy is going to be 150 years old. But the one thing that Vladimir Putin said that was very insightful, he said, 70 used to be old. Now 70, you're a child. Meaning, like, if you live in, so I never forget, Umar Johnson said something that was pretty insightful.
Donations.
One time, 100%. They was like, yo, he was on the stream with the kid Rude, I think his name is, the streamer from Philly.
Yep.
So he was calling him like he was calling him an old head or calling him old or whatever. And he's like, why you calling me like you 40 something years old? You old. He's like, you be careful how you use the word young and old because it's all relative. Mm-hmm. He was like, if we don't know when we're gonna die, that's the only way you can really benchmark being young or old. For instance, if you're 23 and you're going to die next year, well, you're old. If you're 50 and you're going to die at 108, well, you're young. You have more time ahead of you than you have behind you. You're a relatively young person. So it's like that the term young and old, it ages you psychologically by using that, because what ends up happening is that people use young as an excuse. Yep. Young. I'm like, bro, you're not really that young. You 29, you 30, 31.
32, but I'm a young boy.
got kids, you got family. Like you're not really young. Like you keep saying that you're young. That's kind of like a psychological excuse.
Yeah.
Right. Or a handicap that you're using. And then on the flip side of that, people use the term old or at this big age. That's a psychological term that you're using to age yourself out, to make excuses for yourself, to kind of, like I always said, like I feel young now at 41. I feel young. So when he said like at 70 you're still a child, I'm like, damn, that's kind of like I can understand that because I feel young. And somebody will look at me and say like, yo, you're over 40, you're old. Well, that's your perspective, but that's not the life that I've accepted for myself.
A lot of it is mental. I agree a lot. And I mean, also too, there isn't a lot of planning post 25 or 30 for a lot of Black men. We could talk about some of the reasons why if we want to, because the median age for Black men is what, 72 years and 8 months. So, but yeah, a lot of it is psychological for sure. And also it is a lot of mature YNs too that just don't advance.
That's a fact. Stuck in their second childhood. So age is all.
Or some of y'all who want popular as kids and you acting like a brat in your 40s.
That's a fact. Age is 100% relative. That's one conversation. Okay, but the other conversation. Okay, so this isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't something that these are two of the most powerful people in the world. Two of the people that have the most resources to information in the world. And one is saying that we're gonna have some humans that's gonna be able to become immortal because of biotech, and another one that's saying that even without that, just based off of a variety of other factors, 150 is a new benchmark. How do you feel about this?
Number one, given them, both of them are world leaders, there's no such thing as a hot mic moment. If this got out, it's because they wanted it to get out. For two, they've been working on this. I mean, let's be very honest. There was some great audio that was collected. And given their world influence, Putin allegedly may be the world's first trillionaire that is not disclosed or talked about. Nothing's getting out without his permission or approval. Number two, there's also a talk that Russia may have figured out a way to prevent cancer or cure cancer. So while I'm fighting a BRICS war, if healthcare is poor here, one way I could potentially gain favor while nationalism in America is going down is to give cures to cancer and longevity. There's even a war in that well played while we're battling China as well over the chips and AI war. So I don't believe in coincidences, but will we see an expansion of how long we live? For sure. My question is, what is the cost? The cost is going to be exorbitant, and which healthcare company, because the patents last, 20 years? So which healthcare company is going to benefit the most from technology, and will it be an American-facing or American-owned company? I don't think so, because America wants to sell you, allegedly, the whatever solution in pill form. They don't ever want to cure anything. So if they have a cure for cancer in Russia and a promise of longevity, what would that do to change the GDP? There's a bunch of ways to fight a war. Nationalism, at least from the 1970s and 1980s, has went down. Even from September 11th, has went down dramatically. Well played, well timed, and well executed to say that it's a hot mic moment. The last real hot mic moment was Jesse. Putin not doing that.
And then when Putin said with human organs being constantly transferred, what does he mean? What does he mean by that? People are just transferring their organs left and right? That's what's happening?
I don't speak Russian, so I don't know. But one would think that they've been trying to work on this for 20 or 30 years to harvest organs to be able to theoretically exchange them like battery parts. Now, of course, there's a whole bunch of things that can go wrong. Acceptance rates, rejection rates. That's tough, but in the ideal world, if you did have a faulty heart or liver, you should be able to exchange that for a healthier one. It's just not as easy as science fiction would make it out to be. But I do believe they are working on something, and that the elite have had access to some of these services for the last maybe 10 to 15 years.
Would you want to live forever?
No. For what?
What age would you want to call it a quitter?
100. So at that point, Xander be 70 something. I can see my grandkids, maybe some great grands. And the way that the deterioration of society is going now, I want to die off the internet right now. Don't take my page. But given the lack of decorum in the world, imagine you're a vampire. You like live through the Gilded Ages, and now you're seeing people fight on the internet. Like just misuse of everything. No. Now maybe in a silo, like if I was in the middle of Africa, just my own village, maybe live forever. But in this America, oh no. You?
Nah, I'm trying to live forever.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to live forever. Yeah, Guys, what they say? I got a lot of living to do, so I ain't got time to waste. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Time with family. Then once you lose your friend, and it's rough seeing elderly people lose their classmates and friends, and then they become alone. That's another thing, like with society. Back in the day, at least the grandchildren or great grands would go check on the relatives once in a while. That's fractured. So no, I'm good at 100. God willing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's interesting. Put in chat, would you want to live forever? How do you feel about humans being immortal? And how you feel about humans potentially living to 150 years old? How you feel about that? Put in chat.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay. You want to talk about this Drake situation?
No, but let's do it. Let's go.
All right, let's play this
clip. Y'all.
Let's play this clip.
Okay, we need to talk about what's going on with Drake because he used to promote albums and now he is promoting online gambling. Like Aubrey has an $100 million a year deal with the crypto casino state, and somehow he's become the face of sports betting culture. On his live streams, he will lose enough money to literally buy a penthouse and then call it quality time with the boys. But let's be real, this is not quality time. This is marketing paid for by betting companies designed to normalize gambling addiction. And here's the wildest part. Drake isn't even gambling. He's playing with house credits. So while he looks like he's risking millions, he's actually risking nothing because his job isn't to gamble, it's to make the experience look fun so you'll be enticed and put real money on the line. And these apps are super dangerous. Since they've been legalized, bankruptcies have spiked nearly 30% in states with them. Credit scores are taking, especially in low-income areas, and it's men 18 to 34 who are getting hit the hardest. It's not a coincidence that that's the demographic most represented among app users and also a big portion of Drake's fan base. And while he can afford to laugh off $1 million loss because he's getting paid $100 million and it's not his money anyways, you can't. It's the same scam as Tom Brady pushing crypto. It's just celebrities cashing checks while their followers eat the losses. So if you want to gamble like Drake, please set a limit and treat it like entertainment, not a get-rich financial plan. Because here's the truth. Drake isn't betting on sports, he's betting on you. And the house always wins.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've talked about the gambling situation a lot. And everybody doesn't agree with my take, gets backlash sometimes when it's posted on social media, but gambling is a poor tax for sure.
Mm-hmm. Why don't they agree with that? The gambling company will tell you.
Nobody wants to, because they're gamblers. So nobody wants to be seen as like, I'm doing something and you're telling me what I'm doing is wrong. I'm going to justify it.
Gotcha.
That's just human nature, right? You're going to justify what you want to do. And like I said, I don't have nothing against your parlays. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just saying that it's harmful. It impacts low-income communities more than it impacts anybody else. It impacts that means it impacts Black people more than it impacts anybody else. It breaks up families, can cause tremendous financial hardship, mental health issues. It's an addiction, like a lot of other things can become an addiction, and there's no benefit in it. When I say that there's no benefit in it, more people lose than win. So
yeah,
even if you win 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up losing eventually. That's why Vegas will give you a free room, and they'll comp you at restaurants. The key is to keep them gambling. If you gamble long enough, 9 times out of 10 you'll end up losing.
Yeah, you have to have very tight risk controls in investing and gambling. And I know some people like there's a correlation between the two. A Man for All Markets is a very good book to go read about it. The man who broke the casinos and then went to Wall Street. But I agree. But even the mob, who that's one of their primary businesses back in the day, and the gambling companies will tell you that it is but there is a correlation between the gig economy and the rise of gambling and the fall of the job market. For sure. The gig economy and gambling is to offset the lack of jobs and lack of opportunity that are available in the country at scale.
And more people is focused on gambling than there's more gambling accounts being opened than brokerage accounts.
They've marketed better. They marketed it better. That's why I don't like the demonization of Robinhood. Well, Robinhood's not for the hood. I'm like, yes, they are. The brokerages got together and the banks got together to demonize Robinhood because of how quickly they were gaining market share. But everybody fell for the lie and had the same talking points from Robinhood ops. They sold the data. Everybody else did too. You don't think they weren't front running your trades on every other platform from 1960 through when Robinhood got founded? Okay. But if you look at what the gig economy took off, and it first started like 1.0 was like Craigslist, or 1.0 was like the jazz 1910s. 2.0 was the Craigslist era. And then post 2008, 2009, the app economy came in, but that was directly after the crash of 2008. And those jobs have never been recovered. We've been really in a job correction for 15 years, which is insane to think about. And no one plans on how to fix it.
Is Drake to blame?
No. Because Drake is an ambassador for a company. Has he had influence? For sure. But I'm gonna be real. I don't know anybody who's personally signed up for stake because of Drake. I don't know of any. I know a bunch of people who signed up for prospects because of Joe and Ish, shout to the gang guys, yada yada. I don't see a bunch of people being like, I'm gambling $10,000 on stake. He may be the biggest proponent, and FYI, of course, he's not gambling with his own money. It's a part of the mitigation of risk when investing in trading. If you can have the house put the money up for you, that's the way to go. But I never like to blame the person who's public facing. I always want to go to the person who owns and who has the equity in the position. So no. Is he a small factor? Probably, but you can't say Drake's the reason why the country's in a gambling epidemic. Come on. So, but Drake, the relationship with Lucien ain't going too well. Keep that one. That's like when your man and your side leave you in the same week. Ooh, tears will flow. You better keep that stake relationship in tuck, just in case you be in litigation for a couple years. Let's go. You keep that motherfucking relationship. Can we talk about how important it is just to keep? Okay, Magic Johnson. How many beefs or bad business relationships has Magic Johnson had? One day I want to do the breakdown of like how people end up in ruin going through toxic relationships and toxic business relationships. Like the people that I see who climb the mountain of success, they keep good relationships all the way through. Sharon McKissick talked about it on Monday. Please tune into the interview Thursday with Magic, run those numbers up. But the people, when I look at like Dame, peace and blessings to brother Dame, you know, I love you dearly. there's a correlation between that and magic for sure. Damn, don't come after me. I said this. Not Rashad, not Troy. We're not turning our back on you. We love you dearly. But approach matters a hell of a lot. Like, even me, last 2 or 3 years, I made an adjustment. Ooh, be kinder. Let me sleep, meditate. Cool. Be a team player. Got you. You can still be a star and be a team player at the same time. So
100%.
approach matters a hell of a lot. But I don't see Bezos, and people come back with Elon. That's the exception to the rule. He also has 30 years of equity in Silicon Valley and 20 some years of publicly traded companies that he ran. It's different. I'm talking about for us as Black people. There is no financial benefit for drama long term. So Drake, keep that relationship tight, please.
You want to talk about this Young Thug thing now, or wait till Dee-1 comes on?
There's so many things we can talk about, but let's a lot of people here. First, I want to shout the Big Bank. I never met you, but I'm proud of you.
I never
From a
met Bank.
journalistic standpoint, no, I never met him.
No, Bank a real one.
Yeah,
Bank
I've
real.
heard nothing. Anybody in the A like, nah, Bank solid, been
That's
solid.
our guy. That's our guy. Salute to Bank.
I gotta say, shout out to Charlemagne.
Salute.
Well played in Black
Salute.
Effect.
Salute.
Well played.
Shout out to Black Effect. 100%.
Let's get into it.
To me, it's the most important interview of the last 10 years in some regards, because first of all, Bank was the perfect person to have the conversation. The only person that really was qualified to have the conversation.
Only? Well, okay. I can see that.
I think he's the only one, because I feel like how nuanced it was from an Atlanta perspective,
For sure.
from a street perspective, that wasn't an interview, that was a conversation.
Yeah. Almost therapy session.
You could tell how much reverence and respect Young Thug has for him, which is why I think Young Thug actually called him and told him he wanted to do the interview with him. It made perfect sense. It wouldn't have been the same it wouldn't have been the same with anybody else.
Yeah.
Because it would have been an interview. Anybody else, it would have been an interview. With him, it was a conversation. He knows the story. He knows
the inner workings
everybody
of all
involved.
Atlanta. Yep. Context matters a lot.
And that's his past. The street shit was his past. So
yeah,
he's the perfect person for the conversation.
He lived it and exited out of it, thriving. And from a journalistic standpoint, he may not get the credit yet. An amazing interview from top to bottom.
It was very good. The reason why I said it's one of the most important interviews for the last 10 years is because that's the story of a broken Black man. You can watch that interview. Like, from Young Thug talked about watching his brother getting killed when he was 6 years old in front of him, and how that scarred him, right? He talked about, as far
even
as
the family dynamic of his aunt saying,
how the aunt was like, yo, get out of my house. He talked about how his mom had 14 children and struggled to take care of them, and how his dad was doing the best that he could, but it was difficult, right? And moving from the projects and then moving into a house, and but still not really feeling like you was in a house, because you had more room in the projects than you actually had in your house, right? And then going to school, and then he talked about, as far as how he felt betrayed by his friends and how he felt alone, mental health issues. Throughout the interview, he kept asking Bank, what should I do? That's somebody that's looking for guidance. Looking for a male figure older than him to give him guidance, to put him on the pathway, right? He talked about forgiving. He talked about betrayals, the street shit, music business.
It's not talked about amongst men, but the friendship breakup, for lack of a better term, and a heartbreak that comes with that. I commend him for being vulnerable about that.
You could just tell he was like, yo, very vulnerable. Yo, I'm alone. First time I feel alone. Like that. Like I said, if you want to see the destruction that America, the inner cities, the ghetto of America can have on a Black man, that's him. Because he's a very intelligent person.
For sure.
I never heard him talk before, as far as long form. These rappers nowadays, they don't really communicate in their music, so you don't even know if they can talk. And then they do interviews, and they they don't really want to be there. They're like they got an attitude. They high half the time. So we're not really getting like how Tupac used to give interviews and used to like hear, like, you know what I'm saying, or even Kanye, how he give interviews. These dudes don't really give interviews like that. So to hear him talk for 3 hours, very coherent, very animated,
very vulnerable.
And I'm like, okay, this is somebody that's intelligent. I can understand how he became successful because he is a leader. I could just tell. I could tell he had the characteristics of people gravitate towards him. He had a personality. He got charisma. And you could just see how things went right for him, but things went left for him also, right? So that to me is like a microcosm of Black America as far as watching that interview. I have a newfound perspective for him. But I also was like, damn, this is interesting from the mental health aspect, from so many different aspects,
societal aspects, upbringing.
100%. So to me, I thought that was something that nobody's really talking about, because everybody's talking about the sensational clips and, you know, I made you. Well, God did, but I played a part. Hardest line of the year. 100%. 100% hardest line of the year. But to me, I feel like great interview, great conversation. I feel like he brought up a lot of valid points as far as the things that he's done for other people, and it was never reciprocated for him. And even the business thing, I understood that, because that's even us a lot of times. Like, we haven't done business like traditional business people, sharks. Like, and sometimes you look at it like, damn, I should have done it like this, right? But if you're going into business, it's like, yo, I'm rocking with this person, it's my friend. I'm not really stressing it. I ain't really trying to get every little dollar out of a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I understood when he was saying that. I understood that part of it. I understood a lot. I had, like I said, it just, you know, I'm probably gonna get killed for this, but I kind of feel sorry for him, to be honest with you.
I do too. Yeah, because we have to remember, we're lucky, like, to be raised the way that we were, to have the guidance. I say all the time, like, a lot of these issues stem from either father or mother wounds in men that have not been resolved. But I do feel compassion for him, because you can see, even in what he built with YSL, he was trying to recreate whatever family structure he did not have or want as a child. The other part about building a family, which is the mitigation of risk part that we got to talk about, you have to be careful when you're leading with helping with someone when they don't consider you family. This is why traditionally most businesses, most hedge fund, Goldman and Sachs was a Goldman family and Sachs family that came together and partnered together long term. The opposition firms they did not partner with, you got to keep things, shout to Dirk, hope all is well, only the family. A lot of times, because of our trauma, we'll call somebody our brother, but not knowing that they really don't fuck with you. You have to learn how to identify when someone doesn't really rock with you. If you're only trying to pour into them and they never give anything back other than the loyalty play, you could get snaked eventually. When a person stopped checking in, I heard him say, he didn't even pull up on my mama after he got out. My first thought was, how many times did he pull up and do anything for your mom when he was free before he went in? We got to watch the actions. A lot of times we can be so in love with the idea of building, but you're building with people who want to tear your shit down. Not casting any aspersions against Gunna, but in your personal lives, you have to know who you can build with, who's going to cross you, and who will not. A lot of times out of trauma, we don't be the best judge of character about that.
100%. And also, okay, I feel sorry for him. I'm gonna be honest with you, but there's a certain level of accountability that has to be held here. And now there's a strategic attempt to ruin his life, friendships, and they ruined his relationship. It looks like.
Well, okay, go ahead. I'm gonna let you cook. You're right.
Strategically, now he put this upon himself because he said, but I'm just saying
that's the point I was going to. But you gotta realize who you going to war with. I don't want to, but the person who may put the tapes out, you declare war with.
And even that, they, from what I heard, they like, yo, how long? Atlanta's a small place. Let's just say that. So they said, like, yo, how long you think we had the tapes?
Hello.
So me personally, I'm never going to be happy about seeing this. Is so interesting on a variety of different
levels. It's a great business lesson, case study, and personal lessons to pick up on.
The way that the internet is tearing him down, we're going to talk about that. But I will say this. Testosterone levels in men have gone down dramatically over the last 50 years. This is a fact. Okay.
1000%.
Now, there's certain behavior that I don't condone. Me personally, people will get mad at me because I won't talk. Like, I'm not into talking about people, gossip, my friends. Like, this dude is just an encyclopedia.
Yeah, don't clip this up.
He's an encyclopedia of the bullshit, right? And it's like,
well, he was like, talking. That's still wrong, but he was talking to his girl, right?
He's talking to his girl. He's talking to 21 Savage. He's talking to Lil Baby.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
talking to his manager. He's talking to everybody, and he's talking about everybody to everybody. Now, some people was like, all right, well, he's in jail, so he got nothing else to do. He's bored. I don't necessarily agree with that because I got a cousin that's been in jail for 22 years, and I talk to him every single week, sometimes twice a week. And over the course of 22 years, we've never gossip. He's never. I'm his eyes to the outside world. So he's asking me about sports. We're talking about business. He's telling me about different things. Like, he's asking me questions. What's going on? How you feel about that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the 15 minutes that we have to talk, that's his moment to be free. Yep. So he's not going to waste that to say, okay, damn, I heard Aunt so-and-so did this. And, you know, people even gossip amongst their family, or like, it's not like, if you doing that, that's who you are as a person. Right. And that's a character flaw. We all have character flaws, but that's 100% character flaw.
Yeah.
If you pass your time by talking about other people,
especially as a man,
and these are your friends,
or
like you saying,
maybe they were just business allies.
He's not. A lot of stuff that he said, he might not even have been lying, but why is it necessary to say?
Hurt all of it's even I won't speak on Pluto business and his business, but they've had some dealings that didn't go in his favor. A lot of it's hurt, even the commentary on Baby and the Masters, but 300 got sold for 400 million.
100%.
It's hurt. 100%. It's hurt. So you can't tell Baby, well, that sowing seeds of dissent thing that you always bring up, I get, but you can just hear a lot of pain. And I got to give him credit, because 21, it seems like in every conversation that get brought up about him, he's always solid.
I feel like Lil Baby too. I feel like Lil Baby ain't super solid individual.
Yep.
Loyal to a fault.
Yep.
And I also feel like that's the Eleanor Roosevelt quote. Small minds talk about people. Average minds talk about ideas. Average minds talk about events. Great minds talk about ideas.
Yeah.
Mind your conversation, because your conversation will determine your future. This is just a life lesson. The more you talk about other people, the less you're going to be able to do for yourself.
And others around you will trust you less. Like you said, who knows how long Atlanta was sitting, because I was hearing stuff around InvestFest. I was like, what? Who knows how long? But also, too, when you begin to have enemies and this is why the drama angle is never good. You don't know what lengths people are willing to go to destroy you. Even in all these stuff being leaked. This is $5 or $6 million worth of press about gossip. That's not by accident. These are people coming together to actively destroy. What would you say? If you can't kill them in real life, destroy their name.
Assassinate their character. That's a fact.
Sure. This is a Friday night. You start. So much so, okay, now you got to do the interview. Then more stuff comes out. Shout out to the boy. He went and bought what he needed to buy, so that didn't get out. But these are a lot of conversations that are happening in a lot of factions where things can go left really fast. just move honorably. But most importantly, for the black men listening tonight, heal your traumas. Heal your childhood traumas, resolve whatever you have with your mom and dad and cousins and upbringing, because the pain, now I'm not talking about the street part, but the other traumas that are existent there, it dictates how you move as an adult, and it may throw you off your path. Every day, talking about that, hey, protect yourself at all times, including the bullshit. Because if a person can't beat you head up, they'll try and defame your name enough just to make even the corporation stay away from you. And now, Gunna's on fire. Thug music isn't taking off as much, but I can see some of the stuff that Drake is going through, Thug's about to go through right now with the labels too. Because if you said you paid for those bots, while UMG is fighting a fucking battle with Drake over botting, you admitted to it, we got to take our hands off you. Got to take it. Because now, if I'm Daniel, I'm calling UMG and say, affect whatever he's doing to not come back on us to make it look like we're running a Ponzi. While my stock has been on fire. There are tears in this world. That's why sometimes some shit will come up. I'll be like, that is above my pay grade. Shoddy. No. You have to understand who you're going to war with. I feel bad for the brother. But that street shit is dead. It's been dead. 100%. Music industry almost dead too.
100%. Well, on that note, let's bring our guest up. Shall we?
Some positivity.
What's the deal?
Yeah, that's the perfect segue. That's the perfect segue.
Thank you.
What's the deal? How you doing, my brother?
Man, I'm doing great, brother. Just finished my Atlanta tour date last night. I'm on the hypocritical hop tour right now. Everything y'all talking about, bro. I came up with a name for all this fake foolishness. It's called hypocritical hop. It ain't hip hop, bro. This ain't hip hop. So just did Atlanta last night. About to come to New York City, DC, and Boston this upcoming weekend. I'm blessed, brother. I'm being a gangster in these streets, a real gangster, growing and nurturing gifts, serving the Almighty. You hear me?
There you have it. There you have it, my brother Dee-1. If anybody's been under a rock, Dee-1's been killing the game for a couple years now. As far as, would you categorize yourself as a Christian rapper?
Nah, bro. Anybody who know music know D1 is bigger than any box that somebody could put me in. I'm a proud Christian, though, super proud Christian, but I didn't even know what Christian rap was till I graduated college. You heard me? So it's never even been a category or a box that I would put myself in. Some people who that's what they listen to, they'll be like, oh, he's a Christian, put him in the Christian rap category, bro. I grew up on No Limit, Cash Money, Nas, DMX, you heard me, Jay, all that type of stuff. So
no Tupac, come on, man.
I mean, I was in New Orleans, you know what I mean? So Pac's influence, and then I'm a little biased towards the East Coast stuff, bro. Just because that was getting late 90s, my era. Come on, man. Like Pac had passed already, you know.
Yeah.
God bless the dead. So you got Jay.
Jay was killed. DMX. Woo.
You feel
that
me?
era?
So, yeah, bro. So that's what I grew up on, and I feel like I took something from all of them, bro. I took something from Cash Money. I took something from, Juvenile's swag, Lil Wayne's lyricism, BG's demeanor, Master P's entrepreneurialism, Nas's street philosopher, poetic side, you know what I mean? DMX's passion and grit and love for God, even though he battling his own demons publicly. I took all that, bro, plus my actual life story, and wow, D1 was born.
That's fire, man. Well, congratulations on the album and everything you got going on, and thank you for joining us, my brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, bro, we got a lot to talk. Oh, look, I'm gonna just let y'all lead the convo because there's so much going on.
There's so much to talk about, man.
This is one of the most teachable moments ever in our lifetime in hip hop history. Let's not let this moment pass and not learn something drastic from it. Last night, I played part of Young Thug's interview with Big Bank during my performance in Atlanta to show the teachable moment and then to segue into one of my songs. Like the teacher in me, the college professor, the middle school teacher in me is just looking at all this like, yeah, we got to use this, man. This ain't happening for no reason.
What clip did you play?
I played the clip where Thug was like, man, I ain't never been no pillow talker. You heard me? Like, I was giving up, man. Like, I ain't had nothing to live for. Like, I'm talking to my girl and I'm feeling like life over with for me. I'm praying to God. I'm feeling like, God must not be hearing me or da-da-da. And that segued into, I say this next song is dedicated to Young Thug. And it's a song I have called I Know God. And the hook is, I know God got a plan for me, but I don't know what it is. I'm just out here trying to handle my biz. And it's like, man, God got a plan for all of us, you heard me? Even when we feel hopeless. And it was his hopelessness in that moment that he was describing. And I believe him too. I believe him. That hopelessness will lead a lot of us, any of us, Ian, Rashad, David, Dee-1, it'll lead any of us to getting outside of who we know we are at the core if we just literally giving up on life. So it segued into I Know God, crowd went crazy, singing every lyric word for word, and teachable moment, And then I used a clip from Joe Budden's podcast recently because he just shouted me out and was like, man, that boy
I was
D1
happy
been
to see
saying.
that.
But a year and a half ago, me and Joe Budden
It was different energy. Yep.
going at it, bro. So love to Joe Budden, bro. That's honestly been one of the best parts of the past few weeks for me, because publicly people could see all hip hop feuds don't have to end violent or end with just eternal beef that kind of just simmers below the surface. That D1 and Joe Budden, it looked ugly a year and a half ago publicly, but now you see that synergy and man, I just love it, brother. I'm just a teacher at heart, you know what I'm saying? I'm using hip hop for the platform, and I just so happen to rap really, really well, but I'm just a teacher at heart, and it's a lot of teachable moments,
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about a few different things that's trending. The Young Thug, we spoke about it earlier a little bit, but I want to talk about from the aspect of, I thought it was interesting as far as, I put something on Instagram yesterday. Let me see exactly. I said, a strategic and surgical attempt at ruining someone's life, relationships, and friendships is being played out in front of our eyes. And it's pure amusement for the internet. Scary and dangerous times that we're living in. So, I mean, for me, I'm never one to laugh at somebody's downfall, especially somebody that I don't know, that hasn't personally done something to me personally, right? And we've seen this before. We've seen this with Diddy. And no matter if you think somebody's right or wrong, that's a different conversation. But I'm just saying the amusement, it's turned into, like, it's kind of like Squid Games. It's kind of like Hunger Games. We are amused by watching somebody metaphorically like die in front of us, like and we're rooting for it, and we're eating popcorn, and we're like, he getting stabbed, and it's like, yeah, stab him again, like, you know what I mean? And it's really a strange thing that's been going on here, to me at least. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't think it's that strange, brother. I think that this level of inhumane behavior and insensitivity towards other human beings' lives, I think it's become normalized over time, and it's even become glorified to where we love to see the downfall of someone, and then, like you said, just get our popcorn and sit there and gossip about it. People are gossiping about Young Thug. Gossiping.
Yeah.
That's how hypocritical this whole industry is. This ain't hip hop, dog. This is hypocritical hop. You heard me? I got a song. It's the most popular song on my album, Hypocritical Hop. I say, why do we cry when rappers die, but we love when they glorify murder when they're alive? Why do we say that we love one another, then turn around and backstab our brother? Why do we claim that we cherish our sisters, then disrespect them and call them all bitches? Why do we cry when rappers die? Because y'all know, Lord forbid, if anybody y'all laughing at on the internet right now got murked tomorrow, it'll be so many
Yeah, we rest in peace, and yep.
But you love when they glorify the opposite when they're alive, or you love when they're going through hell on earth. It's so hypocritical, brother. So you got heaven, you got hell, you got black, you got white, you got hot, you got cold, you got hip hop, and we didn't have a name for what to call this. Like, what is this other stuff? This ain't what all us fell in love with. The three brothers on here, I respect y'all hip hop sensibilities, bro. That's why I'm friends with y'all. Partially why, man, I finally came up with the name Hypocritical Hop. That's what this stuff is, and that's what we're at war with. We're not at war with human beings. No human being is the op. It's the spirit of greed, the spirit of negativity. It's the spirit of inhumanity, when it comes to laughing at people's reality, that That's hypocritical hype. That'll cause any man, including us, if we let that spirit of darkness and negativity get in us and control us, it'll cause us to do things as well that ain't the best reflection of who we are. All I'm trying to do is reach the brothers, reach the sisters that are artists, reach the fans, and then hopefully even reach some of the executives that can still be reached and get them to just say, you have better inside of you. We just trying to take the better side of you and put that at the forefront. Because what's working through you right now, this is not the best reflection of who you are. And in turn, it's poisoning our babies.
Is that possible to do when we don't own the intellectual property and that the machine and media has turned hip hop into something other than what it used to be?
Man, it's so possible, brother. We got to stop making excuses for these people, man. Black people, if y'all listening to this, bro, let's do better, man. Like, stop making excuses. Stop making excuses, bro.
Is that an excuse? Or is the media's funding?
Most artists are independent, dog.
But major influence.
But the major that have influence.
The major influential artists are not independent.
But what does that mean, bro? There's a trickle-down effect from a few major artists, but there are way more independent artists in the game than the few that are signed to majors and got the machine behind them. If we got the independent artists who don't have that excuse that could always be built in, what's the machine controlling it? What if we just got the masses of independent artists to say, that's true, we're not finna get used like pawns, we can do better. The whole game changes.
But okay, but I say whenever I say like, yo, there's no conscious rap, people always say like, no, there's a bunch of conscious rap, and then they list 37 people that I never heard of before. That being said, there is, I think, people that are championing positivity, but they don't have the platform.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, what are we talking about, dog?
No, that's important. That's important, right? Like there's a bunch of that's like saying there's more basketball players that play overseas than they do in the NBA. 100%. But 5 basketball players in the NBA have more influence than 4,000 basketball players that's playing in Europe.
Rashad, the biggest rapper in the world for the past year has been Kendrick Lamar,
who is signed to Interscope,
but who has a message that is contrary to all of the negativity.
And
so
his message for the last year was killing Drake.
but it was because of what Drake represented. It wasn't killing Drake physically. It was killing
2 T's we burning tattoos. Shout to Top and but
don't say shout out when you're sitting there trying. Don't walk both sides of the Y'all do is funny, bro. Y'all do. Hey,
boy, my boy career apart in a year, boy.
Kendrick has been the biggest rapper in the world for over a year now. Shout out to Kendrick. He gave me a shout out on that song. Watch the Party Die. That changed my life. I ain't gonna lie. That being said, bro, the machine is just a bunch of capitalists, bro. I was signed to RCA Records, bro. If they feel like there's a demand in the marketplace, right, for music that has a more edifying message, then they will get behind that, bro. I literally was a byproduct of seeing these people call all around the country to get murder music played and in rotation on radio, and then them same black executives hang the phone up and look at me and be like, D, I don't even let my own kids listen to that, but this is my job and this is what the people want. So as a college professor at Tufts University currently, I teach my students about the 3 C's in hip hop. We got creators, we got consumers, and we got commissioners. The most powerful out of those 3 C's is which one? What y'all think?
Commissioner.
I think the commissioner.
Y'all sound like my students, man. But y'all my friends. Y'all ain't my students, bro. Mm-hmm. The actual answer, my brothers, is consumers. There are way more consumers than there are creators and commissioners combined.
But they get told what they get told.
But they get told what to think and what to feel.
Propaganda.
We still got free will. Forget what they push on us. They push.
Most people don't execute free will.
Limited free will. Let me ask you a question. If you're starving, right, and I have a fish sandwich and I have a burger in front of you, right? You have an option to eat fish or meat. that's limited free will because you don't really have the pescatarian. You don't have the vegetarian, the vegan option. The vegan option is not in front of you. But if you're starving, you're going to eat one of the two because that's the only thing that's presented. So we have free will that's presented in front of us, but the vast majority of the people are limited to their resources that they have geographically, the school that they go to, the friends that they're around. So you become a product of your environment, and you have free will technically, but not really.
The last I checked, Spotify and Apple Music on our phones, they might suggest certain things to listen to, but we could type in whatever we want, my brother. We got full free will when it comes to curating what we want to listen to.
But they don't even know what to type in.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know.
You think that low of people nowadays, bro?
That's the truth. That's
why
playlist is so popular. Oh, okay. And even if you take like distro, like they are buying into the independent farms and integrated them into the. So I do think that in this era, we can even see it in terms of creativity, in terms of fashion, in terms of business. A lot of people are just copying what they see, what works, and going like I rarely see people say I like an artist because I like them. I hear a lot of fans talk. Well, they sold this the first week and it's a flop. Exactly. I didn't give a fuck what AZ sold the first week when I first heard AZ. Did not care. I didn't care what Tupac sold to Me Against the World. He was my favorite artist when Tupacalypse Now came out. Fans are now talking like execs when it comes to artistry. So I think a lot of people are just copying what they hear, and these messages are being put out by executives.
Valid point. We are so selective about wanting to showcase the best of who we are in different aspects of our lives. So we want to eat the healthiest that we can nowadays. You know, we go out our way to we gluten free, and we trying to we gluten free. We trying to lose weight. We living like that. You know, when it comes to our diets, cats are working out. Cats are in the gym and want to curate this certain lifestyle so they can live longer and whatnot. But when it comes to our music, we are super comfortable being a walking contradiction. Going to a corporate job where we're making 6 figures every day, but bumping drill music and murder music and trap music on our way there, and then just saying that's just our culture. That's just black culture. That's just what let's do. You heard me in the words of Tupac. And that walking contradiction and us being comfortable with that is the real issue that we got to deal with. Because the truth is, even if you grew up in a place where murder music was pushed on you, I grew up in New Orleans, East Side, Ninth Ward, in the Goose, you heard me? Of course that was pushed on us. But dog, college graduate, bro, like I have seen so much of the world, travel to all these continents on tours and all this. Man, I know better now, but do I have the will to want to change my consumption habits? So for fans, that's what I'm saying. They got too many people in our generation, brother. You heard me, 30s and 40s, who instead of being OGs and truly evolving, they're what I call DGs, disappointing grown-ups. And that's a song on my album, OGs versus DGs, because it's the lack of us wanting to grow and evolve in this way in terms of what we consider our culture musically and entertainment-wise, that still gives it gives us an excuse to always point the finger at it's the execs. Man, at a certain point, it's us, man.
Well, yes, for sure. Shared responsibility for sure. But you know, a lot of people are ignorant for sure. So it's like it's easy to mislead people that are miseducated, misinformed. And that's what I think has been done strategically. It's not
by design.
It's not a conspiracy theory, right? I feel like this is something like we have you on our platform because we're trying to elevate anybody that is positive, right? Like you have something to say and you're positive. So why will we not want to elevate that, right? But there's a lot of platforms that won't do that, right? Why is that?
Because they want to be in favor with the machine that's putting out the negativity.
But there's a lot of platforms. Y'all know amazing. Y'all know how I feel about y'all. We locked in. But there are independent platforms to where people are simply just exercising their free will to say, I want to highlight ignorance and I want to highlight negativity. Not because they're being forced to, You
But
know,
they think that, but they think that they'll be rewarded for that. Even rewarded, not even necessarily being paid. Rewarded as far as views. Rewarded as far as I'm going to grow my platform. I'm going to have more people interested. There's more people that's interested, and unfortunately, that's true.
it is true. It is true. Listen, they want the IG. They want the instant gratification for sure. To do what we've done and build what we've all been able to build by the grace of God, it took time. We were not overnight successes. And that is the part, like delayed gratification is a hard skill to teach someone that is young, that is desperate, and that's looking for some type of instant payout, whether that's an artist, you know,
The quick fix. Let me ask you this. Speaking of the quick fix, this is another part of the Young Thug conversation that's interesting. Is the streets officially over? As far as when I say officially over, street glorification probably started in 1970s. See, okay, so let's do a historical timeline here. The Black Power movement was in 1960s. J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI have a strategic plan to counteract the Black Power movement. That's done through narcotics, but that's also done through media. That's when you start to see Black exploitation films become popular, right? Like Superfly, all these pimp movies. And that's when you even you start to see the music. It was more R&B, but it was still kind of like it was headed in that direction of glorification of street activity. Then you have the 80s, which is an interesting time period because the 80s kind of on a certain level went back to the 60s, where you have like the EPMDs, the Fight the Power movement, and you have a lot of more conscious, even street conscious rap like
NWA.
No. NWA comes as the counter to that with
I can see that. Okay.
Gang.
Got you. Okay. Got you.
Ice-T, NWA come as the counter
to KRS-One and
KRS-One.
Okay.
And that bleeds into the 90s. The early 90s is still kind of fighting with each other because you got these backpack rappers like you got Tribe Called Quest. You got a lot of that in the early 90s, but then you got Snoop and you got Death Row. And then the mid 90s is like the Nas, the Big, and it's fighting with each other again. Then Bad Boy comes and really takes over. And then it's just about money. And then from there, it's just a constant downward spiral.
Materialism.
Materialism. Just anything that you could think of. Guns, street culture. So, but it's been street culture has been glorified for a long time, where it's been held in a high regard. But now we're starting to see this whole thing just fall apart in shambles, and that's one of the things I liked about the Young Thug thing, because sometimes God, I think, makes examples out of other people so other people can learn from it. And I feel like when you're looking at somebody like Young Thug, he was very vulnerable, and he was pretty much just saying like, "Yo, like I don't have no friends." I'm paraphrasing. I don't have no friends. Everybody betrayed me. I'm all alone. It's showing you that there's no benefit in this. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if anybody that's intelligent is watching it, that's not a pathway that you want to follow. Like he's in trouble from a psychological standpoint, right? So are we at a point in time where we can finally put an end to street glorification and just encourage people to just be a regular human being?
We have a better opportunity to do it now than we ever have in life. And in order to do it, we have to continue to highlight that the streets are a dead end. The streets won't ever be dead, even though they're a dead end, unless people choose to not go down that dead end. It's the difference between something being dead and being a dead end. So the streets right now is clear as day. Oh, that's a dead end if you go down that way. But there's still a machine and a reward system set up to incentivize
to push you
black
there,
men and women to go down that dead end. So we, people who know better, we have to be louder and bolder than ever. That's why this is even divine timing that this was already scheduled. We was gonna have this convo, not even knowing what was going to be going on in the world, because we have to be louder and bolder than ever about teaching our young, impressionable minds who might still drift down that dead end. Because look, Dee-1 just did a dope concert in Atlanta last night, but then I get on Instagram and I look at NBA YoungBoy's concert that he just did in Houston last night, and I'm like, okay. We still got some work to do, fellas. You hear me? Like, we do, because there's a reward system. There's heroes in that lane, in that world that they are aspiring to be like, and they just feel like, yo, this is life. So we got work to do, brother, but I'm excited to do the work. I'm proud to be of the mindset and have the boldness and the courage to do the work and have teammates. You know, I'm looking at teammates of mine in doing this work. But Rashad, that's what it's going to take, bro. Like, if we let this moment pass and don't turn this into a movement, it's a problem. It's so divine. I don't claim to be a prophet, but the fact that a month ago I put out an album called Hypocritical Hop, where it's literally me just showing all the contradictions in this culture that we embrace and want to hold on to so much. And now we're seeing the contradictions play out in real life. It's all just hitting different, bro. At the beginning of each of my shows, I do what's called a community champions panel. So I have residents from that community who are unsung heroes, who have the type of hearts that's making their communities better. I had them on a panel and I moderate and I give them the flow to shine. And I allow these crowds to see this is what we need to be supporting in our community. That nonprofit, that educator. I had my kindergarten teacher there last night in Atlanta on the panel. That DJ that's using his platform for good. Just trying to do all we can, bro. So that's why I be saluting y'all, because I know that y'all know what time it is, but this the time where we got to turn up, because there won't always be these obvious teachable moments to where we could get everybody's attention.
For you, what else were the big takeaway moments from the Thug interview? I talked about the childhood trauma, but when you watched it, if anyone who is in the streets or 1 foot in, 1 foot out, what were some lessons you can give to them tonight to help push them away from it permanently?
Man, when he had that clip where he said, and if we get life in prison, whoop-de-doo. You know what I mean?
That's not whoop-de-doo.
That's a fact.
That's not what?
Fact.
Like, that right there, if that resonated with anybody, if anybody felt like, oh, that's fire right there, man, you got work to do. You got trauma to heal, and you lost. You are
But you
lost.
can understand what he meant by that, though, right?
I can understand that based on the code that he was born and bred to uphold, that it's like, that is the epitome of being a real nigga right there, is having that mindset. I can understand based on that code.
This is the life that we chose. This is the life that we chose. We made conscious decisions to do certain things. If we get this punishment, we have to accept this as men. We have to accept it as a man.
I just can't agree with it, bro. I know too many people who killed people before, and they made a conscious decision to go sit down and do their time, but to revitalize their mindset and the way that they view the world and the way that they can undo some of those toxic norms that were, pushed upon them. So just feeling like, man, I grew up in the streets of Atlanta. I got 10, 11 siblings. I seen my brother get killed, like all that stuff. Like, you're hearing all what he went through. But I'm still looking at a man who God blessed to wake up this morning. And if God blessed you to wake up, then you still have an opportunity to change how you view life. And I know for a fact that he has some people that he's adjacent to, Big Bank being one of them, who that's why he wanted to talk to Big Bank. He said it several times. I look up to you, Bank. You an older street dude. I see how you didn't evolve. Like, we as OGs have to embrace that opportunity that we have. And I feel like the most gangster thing that anybody in hip hop can do, who used to sell drugs, who used to be in the streets, who was blessed to make it past that, is denounce what you once promoted, man. Like, Rashad hit me with the clip. I was on my way to my concert last night. Rashad hit me with the clip about the drop the flag challenge, right? Yeah. And I blessed him back with another clip. I met a brother named Khalil who, unfortunately caught a body, did 8.5 years in prison out there in Jersey. And at my concert last month, told me before it was even a challenge, he already publicly dropped his flag. And seeing that type of stuff, man, that's gangster. That's fire. I feel like we need more of that in our culture, to where, like, man, I would love for the T.I.s, for the Gucci's, for the Jeezys to get to that point to where it's like, man, let's fully turn that corner of being like, bro, I have evolved totally from that, and I must come out and say that what I once championed and promoted, I'm now denouncing. And I'm not trying to micromanage these black men and tell them what they have to do, but there's so much power in being able to denounce what you once promoted when you have truly evolved and you're in a different season of life.
Well, let's talk about that. You actually, that was my next question as far as Hocus 4-5, ex-Blood member, and he denounced his, well, I don't want to say denounced, dropped his flag, whatever, however you want to say it. And he started a challenge to drop my track challenge, and that's picked up traction. And it's been other people from Crips to Bloods to Latin Kings in New York. I don't know if there's any other cities that have made videos online about how they're no longer part of a gang and how they want to be a family man and whatever. So it's been trending. So Adam 22, I guess he sees this, and for whatever reason, he made a video kind of mocking it, right? And then that started online banter between him and Adam 22. So then Adam 22 came back and made another video where he was saying, like, look, no disrespect, if that's what y'all want to do, y'all could do that, but we don't really do that in LA. And
Who is
I thought that was interesting because Adam 22 is not a gang member. So you have somebody essentially from outside the culture who has co-opted the culture, right?
The same word that happened in music, right?
Right. And the most negative parts of the culture, and you're mocking people that are trying to better their lives. Like, it's just an interesting dynamic, right? To me, on a multiple of different levels. So what do we think about, that whole situation?
He's a machine that monetizes. Okay, if Adam creates gang content as a non-gang member at scale, does he want to see a drop the flag challenge become popular?
Nope.
That's
bad for business. That's bad for business.
Even in all the drill era, like, we never say who financed the projects to make this thing. And I know Ack gets a lot of flack for the Warren Chirac series that he did, but like, if there's no penalty for monetizing our death, they're not going to stop. And I don't know why Adam is so bold to have this commentary, but if he's doing business over there and nothing has happened and the business hasn't been shut down, he's doing what other labels have been doing for 25 or 30 years. So I think it's a travesty, but he's the only vulture that is publicly talking and saying, no, I don't want you to drop the flag because I want to find ways to monetize it. And when are we going to stop allowing that to happen? It's a whole nother conversation. But I think he's feeling emboldened because he's been monetizing and nothing happens to him. Not saying I want anything to happen to Adam.
All right. I'm in full agreement. 1000% agree with y'all. All right. How to say this, David? How to say this? All right. So I sense a difference in my spirit when it comes to observing what our culture perceives, meaning black people, what we perceive as disrespect from the outside looking in, right? And I sense a difference when it comes to a couple things. In the Jewish culture, if they sense disrespect from the outside, their culture, coming towards their culture, they raise hell.
Swiftly.
People are getting canceled. People are swiftly having to go on apology tours, or they're going to lose their TV shows, you heard me? Like, all kind of stuff. That's the type of business they standing on, like it or love it, right? When the LGBTQ community senses disrespect from outside their community being brought in on them, they stand on big business. And they don't play. They don't waste time. With our community, when that happens, we don't stand on big business swiftly and as a unified front. We don't stand on big business swiftly, but then also it becomes so hard to stand on big business when we have so many of our own that are perpetuating the same disrespect or the same ignorance from within. You don't see a bunch of gay people like openly disrespecting gay people and gay culture. You don't see a bunch of Jewish people openly disrespecting Jewish culture. So that is why I can agree with y'all 1,000% about. I just saw the video from Lil Daddy. You heard me? That he made Adam, and I'm like, nah, man, this is horrible. And at the same time, I look and I see YB's concert, you know, next. And it was the thing I scrolled to next on the timeline, and I'm like, man, they feel emboldened to do this stuff because they feel like, shoot, it's so many of y'all that's walking examples of disrespecting y'all own and not caring about y'all life, y'all affiliations on a daily. Dog, we really got work to do, bro. Like, we really do, bro. And we don't need everybody. Are y'all familiar with the 3.5% rule?
No, tell me more.
All right, so there was a sociologist who did a study on this, and they said they studied several examples in history to where governments were overthrown with nonviolent resistance, right? But governments were overthrown when the people got fed up. And it's been shown time and time again that all you need is 3.5% of a population to be unified in their objection to something that's going on, and that government or that power structure can be and has been overthrown time and time again, right? Now, of course, no rule is 100% solid, but it has a lot of proof to back this up. So when I think about hip hop culture and when I think about Black culture and I just think about what's going on in the world, I don't need everybody to agree with me. I need a few people who got powerful platforms or who are like, man, we unified, brother. And until the day God called us home, we unified and we using our platforms because we all have big followings. And if we are relentless in our pursuit for our culture and our people to be perceived and respected more by the world, then we can do the work within our culture, but we can also stand on business to people not in our culture. And all we need is 3.5%. So if there's 1 million rappers in the world, or let's just say 1 million people, what's 3.5% of 1 million people? That's 35,000. That's 35,000 people out of 1 million. When I think about hip hop and me being at war with hypocritical hop, I'm just like, man, I know that there's 35,000 rappers who feel how I feel in this country. It's just about it's just about unifying us. But use that as like inspiration for the fact that we have an uphill battle, but the 3.5% rule is real, bro. And I think that the more strategic we are about continuing to unify, then we can make some, we can make some powerful moves.
I mean, but one of the, I want to ask you, like, how do you bring a good message and not get attacked? It makes me think of something we talked about regarding Tabitha Brown. Like, our culture is even criticizing and tearing apart the people who want to help us. Like, Tabitha Brown told people, hey, if your entrepreneurship career isn't going well, go get a job. You would have thought she said something radical the way the commentary was so strong towards her. And to Rashad's point, he said it, well, the job market isn't solid, so that's not always an alternative. But how do you be a positive voice and not get torn down, giving advice that is logical and sound to our community that we need to follow anyway?
Man, you got to be a gangster, man. You got to know that you are going to get torn down. You're going to face opposition. Like, there's no way. And say, brother, one of my superpowers is that I'm a likable dude, bro. I'm just a cool, chill dude from New Orleans. I've been well liked my whole life, bro. I love that in these past few years, I have become comfortable being disliked by my own people or being attacked. Being attacked publicly by people who I grew up listening to their music, you know what I'm saying? Or people who is like, dang, you was a big part of my childhood or my adolescence, or just having their fan bases, go after you. Yeah, bro, I love what that has built, this level of resilience inside of me, to where I think that we all have to have that, because some of us like being liked so much that we aren't even willing to be as bold as we need to be about making change because we're worried about getting attacked from within our community. It's going to happen. You're going to have people who are hating on you or plotting on you, like all that type of stuff. Name me somebody great who didn't go through that.
That's a great point.
100%.
That's a great point.
100%. You know, this 3.5 thing is interesting because I never really heard it put like that before. Because I just actually chat GBT'd it, and I guess it comes from a Harvard political scientist who just said everything that you just said, as far as 3.5% of America would be 12 million people. Because I actually put a post on Instagram the other day, but it was about business. And what it said was, what did it say? It said, to get rich, you don't need everyone to support, know you, or even like you. A small group of evangelists will get the job done. The key is to focus on the people who are focused on you.
Yeah.
So
Good quote.
It's like the Marine says, a few good men, right? And yeah, anything in life, you don't need to focus on a lot of people. It doesn't take a lot of people to change the world. It takes a few select devotees,
Yep.
devotees, and actually can change the whole entire trajectory of things. So that's important to keep in mind, because it can become frustrating when you comparison is the thief of joy. So if you constantly comparing, even for our platform, as big as our platform has grown and as big as thing, like we could always compare it to something else and be like, well, damn, this got 1 million views in one day from Young Thug. Like, but it's like, focus on running your race.
Yep.
Focus on the people that's focused on you, and always remember that a small group of people
Can take over the world.
Can do a lot, can do large numbers of things.
Yes, bro. That perspective is priceless, my brother. That perspective is needed because, of course, we're not out here overly comparing ourselves to people, but we are human beings. So we look, and I'm like, word, I did a dope concert in Atlanta last night. That mug was nice. And then I look and I see somebody else did an arena concert last night. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's different. But instead of feeling bad about what I'm doing, it's like, how potent was the message that I brought, you know, to the people that God blessed me to be in front of? And what's going to be the trickle down effect, you know, from that? Because now it's about empowering others. A lot of times we are doing the right things for the wrong reasons. There's a lot of selfish ambition mixed in with having a platform that's built on positivity or built on empowerment, but it's really just selfish ambition, you know, that's at the core of that. So getting to the point where we can become more and more selfless with how we are stewarding our platforms and saying, like, I really want y'all who are hearing me and who are exposed to what we do to become the best version of yourself, because we're actually teammates in this journey together. That right there, man, it feels way better than just simply looking at what your neighbors are doing and feeling like they're, you know, ahead of you in the race. Like, let's just play the game from a mindset that we are trailing. So we have to have a sense of urgency about how we play in the game. Like, we all like sports, we're trailing. And even if we aren't personally trailing, I think Rashad and Ian, y'all could agree that culturally we are trailing. For sure. The stats would prove that. We are trailing culturally. So long as we keep that sense of urgency about us, that we are trailing, but we understand that like, victory is ours at the end. Like, victory is our destiny. Victory is our destiny, man. That should be motivation. But we got to be strategic too, man. We got to be strategic. So it's hard being black, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
100%. 100%. Before we leave, can you talk about the album? I did listen to it. It's a great album, and it's an easy listen. I think it's like 9 songs.
9 songs.
So it's something that you could just ride out and just listen to.
Now, how did you pick the 9? Because I know you can write.
Yeah, man, I'm at a point in life now where I'm like, I'm not wasting any of my creativity. So if I do 20 songs, that's 2 albums at this point. Chop that stuff in half. So I'm gonna give y'all 9 on Hypocritical Hop Volume 1, and then I got Hypocritical Hop 2 done already. You heard me? In the can. That's how I picked my 9. And yep, this album came about from me understanding that the culture needed music to meet the moment. And what we are seeing play out right now, it gets talked about on a lot of podcasts, but what bodies of work are speaking to what we are witnessing on a daily basis? People got entire platforms built on talking about hip hop daily events and whatnot. And I was just like, man, I want to create anthems that are going to be timeless, that are going to make people say, wow, that's describing what's going on right now in the culture. And the goal is for hypocritical hop to not exist anymore. So I'm going to keep making these albums until hypocritical hop doesn't exist anymore, or that it's such a small part of our culture that it's not even needed. But we needed a song to talk about the contradiction in what we consume versus what we want to happen to people in real life. We needed a song redefining what it means to be gangster. We needed a song talking about everything I talk about on the album, bro. So it's great. The type of feedback I've been getting, it lets me know from the people too. Like I specifically, with certain people, I'm like, man, I'm gonna keep politely nudging them until they listen, because I just respect some people's hip hop ear and sensibility. So it means a lot that so many people are co-signing and people saying like, yo, this album is timeless. This album is amazing. Some publication voted it the top hip hop album of July. And that's the same month that the clips dropped. That's the same month that I think Travis Scott dropped.
Yeah, it was a stacked month.
Yeah, stacked month, you know, and this is straight independent, bro. I'm as independent as it gets, you know. I'm grateful, man. And anybody that's listening, hypocritical hop, I spell it with an I, HIPOCRITICAL. Hypocritical Hop by Dee-1. That's the album. Currently on tour. The tour lasts until the end of September. Independently, you know, pushing this tour. By the grace of God, I got some people who have been sponsoring tickets for people all around the country. So they're like, look, you might not be coming to my market, but I want to sponsor 10 tickets for people in New York to be able to go, D.
That's
so
dope.
yeah, here I'm buying 10 tickets. D, you know who needs to be at your shows. Go ahead on and bless them. That's that unity, bro. Like I got teammates that I make music with. I got teammates that we get on each other's platforms and we do what we do. I got teammates that play different parts in helping my mindset be what it is, you know, helping me mentally and spiritually. And I just love being a team player in this stage of life, man. So Hypocritical Hop is the album, bro. And there's much more to come, honestly. Like I'm far from done.
Proud of you, man.
Thank y'all, man. A lot of people listen to
my last question before we finish. Quick question, hip hop question. Do you ever think that the ends justify the means, right? Like, do you ever think of like sometimes you gotta have like some level of like high level glucose in the food to make it appealing to people? What I mean by that is like, okay, Kendrick Lamar, he's a conscious rapper, but he still will talk about stuff that's not conscious. Mm-hmm. J. Cole, Nas, they have mass appeal because they haven't been boxed in a conscious rapper's box. And sometimes like I had this conversation with 19 Keys before. I'm like, yo, I don't envy you because you can't do certain things. Like that's why it's like if 19 Keys did certain stuff, it's like he's in a box where he can't go out of that box. They will look at him crazy if he did something that they would deem too secular, right? Do you feel that you can ever do something that's not 100% positive? Like, I don't want to say like, no, say like, they're not like that, but like, if you just had like a regular record where you just, or is that even something that you even interested? I don't know, but it's just like, or are you just comfortable with like, yo, look, this is my lane. I'm in my lane. I don't care. Even if I never get to J. Cole, you know, international stardom recognition, I got enough fan support. I got enough love where I don't have to try to add sugar to the diet to make it appealing so people can kind of, I can get more people in.
I don't want to be lukewarm. I made a conscious decision that I don't want to be lukewarm because the world rewards lukewarmness. It rewards you trying to push something on us, but you're gonna contradict yourself so much so that what you even trying to push on us don't even really have the potency it could have, because we could point to you glorifying the opposite. And I don't want that, brother. God despises lukewarmness. And ironically, the fact that God despises lukewarmness is the very thing that the world rewards the most, and that's the most convenient to be. I haven't met anybody that's on demon time 24/7, 365. Most people are, even if they pushing the negativity, they got another side to them that they push at times. Like most people are lukewarm, bro. And I think that how do you break out of an eternal state of lukewarmness that the culture has rewarded is you have to have some people that's like, I might sacrifice being able to reach the masses at scale compared to other people for the potency of what I deliver remaining intact. You feel me? And I'm fully at peace with that, Rashad and Ian. You know why? Because also, like, I want to say this as humble as possible. Bro, by the grace of God, I'm not missing no meals over here, bro. Like it's not like D, you took this vow to poverty, dog, and you barely, I'm not missing no meals.
You're doing good,
here, bro. And so that's the part where there's nuance to being able to show that, to be able to exude to people that, like, there's wins over here that anybody would be happy with these wins. But if you're comparing yourself to what somebody else has that you don't have, then you'll easily feel like you're doing something wrong, bro. So as a rapper, to have had a 16-year career as a rapper thus far, I'm in my 16th season in the league, you heard me? Since I was a middle school teacher, and to have built generational wealth at this point off of being in the lane I'm in, doing what I'm doing, got 14 albums out, on tour, independent, did this being signed thing, all that, all these collaborations with people, you know, all across the game and whatnot. Man, that's a heck of a success story if you ask me. And it's just about telling that story and helping others to reframe what success looks like. Because you're right, bro. We humans, bro. We attracted to who got the most monthly listeners. But Sway told me you can't measure my type of impact with just streams. You know what I mean? We look at, who doing arenas, you know what I'm saying? But if you're doing arenas and you simply are poisoning your people, you know, at scale, then that arena now just feels like a hellhole that you have been blessed with from the devil to say like, oh yeah, I give you that arena because I know what you're gonna pour into them. So I'm cool, bro. I don't be feeling like I'm missing out on anything. And y'all are so good at having scale. Like y'all literally, I know I'm talking a little too much, but y'all literally in my lifetime have shown what it looks like to have something with substance for our people, but then be able to scale it, right? Y'all are one of the shining examples of that. And there's many others, but you know, y'all are doing it. So I can understand how easily we can look at like, yo, this is dope, but it's even doper when it's done at scale. And all I'm gonna say is, man, anybody that wants to see Dee-1 have a bigger platform, or people like Dee-1 have a bigger platform, help me. You hear me? I'm trying. You hear me? Like, but in the meantime, I'm not saying help me from a desperate place, because like Troy Ave say, you know, God is great, paper straight. You know what I'm saying? We good over here, but I'm not content because I don't define myself by any of the paper or anything like that, man. I want to make the most impact possible, be compensated fairly for it, but ultimately, when I meet my maker, have him say, job well done, my good and faithful servant.
Yeah. There you have it, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Always, man. Always a pleasure, man.
Y'all know that, man. It's love over here, man, for sure, brother. Till next time, man. Y'all be blessed, man. Keep up the great work.
Oh, good, appreciate man. You, my guy. Appreciate you.
One.
Yes, sir. Okay.
And you got to factor in peace of mind. That's a big part of it. Peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
A part of the illusion of the music industry is having you think that people are doing better than what they're actually doing. A lot are not doing well. The music industry is falling apart right in front of our face. Sales are down, streams are down. It's like, come on. How's a person averaging 19 billion views streams a month? It's like, okay. I hear you. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? Yeah.
Okay.
Most impactful interview of the decade. That's for our community. I can see that.
There's like different, I feel like from a perspective of cautionary street tale and the psychology of a black man
in America
going astray from the inner city corruption.
Yeah,
that painted that. If you didn't know, Navy, you was coming from Mars, and this painted a picture.
The outcome is like
this painted a psychological picture of a child and how it starts to go wrong, how it continues to go wrong, how it's just that whole thing.
Yeah, it's like if Scarface lived and was a real person.
But
Streets is it.
Streets is over with.
It's been over with.
Streets is over.
Invest your money. Stay locked in with your family and your real friends. And not to cast aspersions on him. You shouldn't spend time with anybody that is a friend more than you do your kids. It's a mistake.
And you shouldn't tell everybody your business.
You got to be quiet, yo.
On phones, on text messages.
Even your girl. Some of y'all be saying that. That's for wives, yo. Because your girl will get up in. They'll hate you so much that you have somebody. They'll put the out there to make her leave.
Yeah.
It's the other dirty Mac. Hold your head. Oof. So to lose your friend and girl in 1 year, that's heartbreaking.
Hold your head.
Hold your head, my brother.
At least you got your freedom.
True, you can always bounce back.
Always bounce back. It's always another day.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how bad it seems.
Down the dumps, yep.
There's always another day. So as long as you got your freedom, man, you got a chance. You got a chance at this thing. Gunna is really taking this opportunity to just, he's doing everything right. If Young Thug is doing everything wrong, he's doing everything right.
Gunna is putting on a master class. The other night, did the VMA halftime show, got the Run Club.
The girl, he got the girlfriend. He's doing everything right.
And one day, we're going to have a conversation. If he was putting pen to pad for some others too.
If Gunna paid the path?
No. If he put pen to pad for some others.
Oh, Gunna. I was never a fan of Gunna's music, and full transparency. I like some of his songs, but to me, out of that whole Atlantic consortium, Lil Baby is my favorite. Yeah. Lil Baby is the one that I relate to the most as far as his music is concerned. Like, I think he can really rap on some like hip hop rap shit. I feel like Gunna makes good songs. Yeah. Young Thug has his voice is like an instrument. 21 Savage, I'm not really a 21 Savage fan, but really? I like the project that he did with Drake. Yeah. I'm no disrespect. I respect him. Yeah. I'm just not a fan of his music. Yeah. But Lil Baby could really, really rap. But is his career over?
We're not doing that.
I mean, I'm a fan.
I'm never gonna say somebody's publicly career is over ever. I don't think so. I do think though, maybe in the selling of the label, like when an artist's career goes from being a super, like at one point a few years ago, it was conversations of if he was going to be in that Drake category. I always wonder who did he or maybe Pete upset to push that decline.
The public, the public turned on him ever since that Mike Rubin thing happened.
Who put that out?
Mike Rubin, I think, put it out. He had the pictures. Right? I mean, did somebody else put it out?
I don't know.
Who else could have put it out? But
don't talk. I don't know.
But once
you don't say
once that happened, I feel like the public and it's
opinion.
so weird. It's so weird to me because I'm like, yo, he could. I'm like, yo, y'all listen. And I'm like,
okay, Mike put the picture out, right? But when all the blogs pick it up, it becomes talking points on 84 podcasts. That's PR shit. Whenever I hear somebody have the same 4 talking points at the top of the show, I'm like, oh, okay, y'all got the little group text to make.
So you think it was a concerted effort to destroy his character?
I don't know any superstars who have fallen off without it. When 50 fell off from Interscope, it was because he had a battle with Jimmy. When Michael Jackson fell off because he had an issue with Sony and Tommy Mottola. When Mariah Carey fell off, it's because she left such and such. There are no, like, a person that can make a hit record can make a hit record in every era. We've seen it with Drake. Drake's ability to make hits have not gone away. It's the distribution and partnership part that has gone away. Kendrick, swimming pools, like, first album had hits. He had a resurgence this last year, but the label chose to push other people. Damn was a really great album. I think they choose when to elevate you and when to destroy you. At one point, like, Baby was on fire.
I mean, you listen to Lil Baby's Essentials. He got like 20 songs where he's rapping. That freestyle is one of the greatest rap songs of the last 15 years.
Tough, yo.
Like, Lil Baby can really rap. He can rap better than all of them, if we're honest.
And solid.
Wham. Also referred to as Wham. Yeah. Okay.
Music industry, a tricky business, but the origins of a business is very important. That's all my business. Or, yeah. So. But prayers to all involved. Pray for Doug's family. Pray for Gunna, all of Atlanta. Atlanta, I'm never in y'all business. Prayers to all of Atlanta. I hope y'all can find a way to have unity, but Savage, every time I've heard anything about him or anything that get leaked about him, always solid. Always solid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Put your money into the market. Get your coin. Take care of your family. Reinvest. You'll be good. The same excitement that you may want to get from the streets, the same kind of money is here in the market. Times 1,000. So, but once again, kudos to Big Bank. From a journalistic, for all my creators and podcasters and interviewers and journalists, he did an amazing job at that interview and guided him well. And I hope Thug continues to listen to Bank. And I pray that Bank continues to guide Thug to keep him on the straight and narrow because he's going through a lot of pain. And going to therapy is okay. Going to therapy is okay. I know we've had a breakdown in the family structure, and therapy as a result has benefited from it. But if you are a man that needs to go to therapy, there's nothing wrong with that. Get that pain up off your heart.
How do you feel about Burkina Faso? They've been making news recently about they passed anti-gay laws.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's been trending. The thing I find interesting about this is that it's been trending. It's been all over. And I'm just curious because I'm like, okay, why is this trending? UAE has similar laws. I've never seen UAE
trend for that reason. Maybe because of hue. If you can't kill a person, sure quote. If you can't kill a person, but actually, assassination, you can start to deteriorate the character or the reputation of the person.
100%.
100%. Yep.
Interesting.
A bunch of other countries that have the same kind of.
Yeah, there's a lot of countries. Not to say I'm not for it, I'm not against it, but I'm just saying it's just interesting. Like that's the issue that they've chose to run with, like BBC, The Guardian. But like I said, UAE and a lot of these countries have similar laws. But I'm just harping on UAE because that's a travel. Everybody talks about going to Dubai. Nobody's ever like it's illegal to be gay in Dubai. You can get jail time, but it's punishable by 6 months in jail.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
it hasn't trended like how Burkina Faso does.
Yeah. Africa's a gem though that they want. So
stay
woke.
woke.
The great thing about studying history, you get to see the same playbook. Like Jerry Jones won't change that cowboy playbook. The establishment never changed the playbook on Africa. Never.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question. What's the most successful lie in human history?
All of them. Go to school and you'll be secure. Oh my God, the food here is safe. The water is safe. There's no corruption. I think
I could say a few, but I will refrain.
Please do. InvestFest just passed. We got things in the pipeline.
I'll save that for 19 keys.
No,
19 keys. Maybe 19 keys could say it.
19 Keys Renaissance Tour. No.
I could think of a few.
And we have to talk. We'll talk about at least one for sure. Is college a Ponzi scheme now? If I looked at college on a return basis for the average person, what you're told that you're going to receive upon graduating for the amount of debt that you receive, is that worth it?
So you don't advise people to go to college?
Don't do me like that. Are we friends or what? Boy, gonna line me up for the clip. VSG, don't clip that.
VSG,
don't do it. I'm not saying that, but the premise of college initially was if you go to this institution, and I'm not saying for Ivy schools or top 25. But some people are leaving college with $180,000 in debt for undergrad.
And I think the even scarier thing is, even if you don't have any student debt, you go into, like you said, you're going to these mid-level, low-level colleges for the most part. You're getting a degree in sociology or something. And then you're left they throw you to the wolves.
They don't pay the guidance counselors or the officers enough to even guide you in the career path.
It's scary. Like, imagine being a 22-year-old that just got his college degree and now you out in the world. What do you do?
And there's no compassion. No one gives a fuck. And it's like either build a business and have at least, okay, let's say 05 to 2018. If you were building a business, your skill set didn't have to be the highest. You needed more persistence than anything. Now the skill gap is really fucking high. Even when people are like, well, how do I use an agent? There's an onboarding that you need to know how to even use agentic AI. Once you get past GPT and if it like Google Veo 3 and Nano Banana, some of that stuff is complicated to work if you haven't been in the ecosystem for a while.
What are you telling your son? Like, what's your son when he gets to high school? Where are you going to be pushing him? What are you going to be pushing him to do after high school?
Whatever his heart tells him to do. From that standpoint, but for real. But from your standpoint, as a father, since 3, I've been teaching them about investing. That's the only thing to me that is an even playing field that they won't take away because they have so much of their equity and wealth tied up into it. If they destroy that, America becomes immediately a 4th class country.
I think college is also good from a standpoint of the social aspect of it. Like me,
I agree, but it's not $200,000 worth of debt.
Not $200,000 worth of debt.
Yeah.
No. But it does teach you how to live on your own. It does teach you social skills that you may not have when you're just living with your parents. You do develop relationships, especially if you're on a sports team.
Yep.
For sure, 100%. Or even if you're not on a sports team, a lot of people join fraternities. I never did that, but I know that that's
a path.
Brotherhood, sorority, sisterhood that you can make lifetime connections with. So there's intangible things in college. There are, because we never really talk about that. There's intangible
tertiary benefits, though.
Huh?
Yeah, there's secondary benefits for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes those secondary are primary. You make the right connection in college, that could be worth the price of admission.
At the right school, but
at the right school.
But that's a steep, and because some of my most important relationships, for sure, I met in undergrad. But was that worth the price of admission? It's tough, but
you don't know. You never really know where you're gonna make relationships. Like even Earn Your Leisure, these are relationships that we made in middle school. So
yeah,
that's not strategic. Like we didn't strategically.
But it didn't cost $50,000 a year to go to middle school. Like even middle school costs are great. Like private school costs now. When I'm like, how are you charging $60 for that?
No, 100. But once again, it's the net. Like okay, my son goes to private school now, and it costs a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But he was telling his mom that he overheard one of his friends, well, not even his friend, just a random kid in school. He was talking to another kid, and he was saying like, "Do you want to go to LA for the weekend on my jet?" And the kid was like, "Yeah," casually, nonchalantly said, "Yeah." But that's an environment that you really can't be in unless you're in.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes you gotta
pay to be in the network.
You gotta pay for access.
You gotta pay to be in the network. Yep. I agree 1,000%.
100%. Sometimes you can just work your way into a network. That's what we did, right? We just worked our way into a network. Sometimes you can get kind of lucky. Sometimes it's a combination of luck and work your way into it. And then sometimes you can just flat out just pay for access.
Yeah. That's a lot of what you're doing in your personal lives. You need to do it.
The pay for access play.
Do it in the business to get to meet and network and do real business. Skip the RFP process. You know what I
mean?
The RFP. Request for proposal. That's another lie.
The RFP?
Man, it's a net now.
Net
now. All that RFP bullshit. Most of America, well, I won't say that because I don't want us to get in trouble, but the norms that we grew up on in the 1980s and 90s are dead. Are dead. The world is being rewritten in front of our faces. Even just discussing politics and religion. I remember when that was a thing, and politics and religion are discussed every day now.
Or when you had to I remember when I was in middle school and they was teaching us how to be presidential and how a president had to act and decor. And all that is out the window now. You would go on Twitter and just ramble at 4:00 in the morning. So it's going to be interesting to see the future of education because it's scary. It's scary when if all else failed at one point in time in America, you kind of knew if you had education, then that would get you to the point. Still kind of is that. It's just you got to have that right level. Like if you are a extremely skilled engineer, you'll probably be okay. I think. But it's gonna have to be like you're gonna be like 4 career paths, and that's it. Just this general get a degree and then you'll just figure it out type shit.
That's over with.
It's over.
And even with that, with the job safety, with having a certain level of education, the inflation steals away a lot of your gains and a lot of your salary. Scary times, man. Some of the brightest people and richest people on earth are working hard. Like Chamath has a new startup. You're seeing people that were like Max, who was at Facebook, Dustin, who was at Facebook. They got new shit coming out. It's not because they're bored. You start planning for InvestFest next year already?
Yeah.
See,
Everybody's
everybody's working. 50 Cent working, Young Boy working, Drake work. Drake put out live streams with Pinocchio with no Disney license. Everybody's working because they know there's a turning coming. Trump, I keep saying it. Trump's kids are working. Trump's working.
There's a storm coming. And one of the things, like we interviewed David O. You know, David O, his father is a billionaire, and his uncle is Aliko Dangote. His godfather is Aliko Dangote, who's the richest black person in the world. So we interviewed him. He was in Lagos years ago, and we said, like, yo, what's some advice that, you know, your godfather gives you? And he was like, every time I see him, he tell me the same thing. He's like, David, save your money. Save your money. And, you know, at the time, for most people listening, that's pretty generic advice. But when you start to really think about it, it's a warning.
It's a warning signal.
It's a warning.
Mm-hmm.
Save your money. One day your money's going to save you because a storm is coming.
Mm-hmm. So my friends get on me, why don't you get this? I'm like, I'm scared.
Like a storm of biblical proportions. Noah's Ark
lasts 4 years.
40-year storm, a 400-year storm. Like
I was telling y'all a few years ago, hey, 60 months. Yo, you crazy. Is that savings or in the market? Anything liquid, just in case.
Build the boat.
A big one.
So
Noah's financial ark.
That's 100%. That's 100% fact, man.
Yep.
Because pretty soon, hate to be an alarmist.
Y'all can say it's fair point if you want to. Apple has slid from number one, and according to the analysts I talked to at Morgan Stanley, they will never be number one again. That's fucking Apple. So you don't think your financial situation can go from where you are now to 20% down or 25% down? Oh, another lie. You own a house free and clear. Property tax. Bro, it's just
a scam. That's a scam.
Now, DeSantis get that off in Florida? Ooh, boy.
Well, he got rid of the vaccine, so
he definitely did.
You never know what he's capable of. Well, yeah, that property tax thing is a scam of highest proportions.
Allegedly, it's a financial instrument. I'm gonna keep us afloat. It was AI.
100%.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been real. Tomorrow, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we have the great Magic Johnson interview from InvestFest. Check it out.
They got property taxes in Africa?
No, well, they do minimal. But the thing about it, so they got the land lease. So that's a lot of things people wasn't really fully. They was like, yo, the land lease is like you own the property for 99 years, free and clear, and then after that, then you got to renew it for like another 50 years.
Yeah.
So they're like, yo, that doesn't even make sense. Like, you know, why would I go somewhere? I want to own the property. I don't want to lease the property for 99 years and then I got to renew it. And then it's like, you know, you don't own your house. You know that
in the United States. When Big Mama died, y'all sell the house right away anyway.
Think about this. This is the craziest shit in the world. You buy a home for $1 million, right? Cash. You buy it out in cash, right? Okay. You have property taxes that you have no real control over. You have school taxes. You have utilities, all that stuff. But let's just focus on property taxes. You have property taxes that go up in value over the course of time, almost guaranteed. So you buy a home $1 million in cash, you're paying for something that you really can't even control the cost of because you don't even know what it's going to be in 20 and 30 years. The property tax can be $10,000 this year. By the time 20 years, that same property tax can be $35,000 a year that you got to pay. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? If you don't pay it, they're taking your home that you already paid for in cash and put renovations in and did all of this shit. And for years, you don't pay property taxes for a couple of years, mind you, not even a long period of time. A couple of years, you fall a couple of years behind on your property taxes, and your $1 million home in 30 years is now worth $2.5 million.
That's not yours.
You can't afford to pay the $30,000 in property taxes. Well, it's no longer your home.
Mm-hmm. NBA Youngboy kids gonna have it.
And they talking about land leases in Africa. You worry about the property tax system in America.
Allegedly.
Like John Hope Bryant told us when he bought his property in Turks and Caicos. I forgot how much it was. Let's just say it's $1 million, just for hypothetical purposes. And then it was another $10,000 that the property tax up front, and then that was it. And he's like, okay, well, how much do I have to pay every year? They said nothing.
Nothing. You're done after that.
No, you own it. There's nothing. You don't pay anything after that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the dividends on the property taxes in certain cities, man, certain states. That's a good, interesting part about like going on the things that you can't trade as a retail trader, but there are funds for everything. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Traded by asset, just not by retail traders. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to get canceled. So peekable.
It's really crazy though, if you really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
If you really sit there and think about it, it's generally crazy.
Yeah.
And they said, oh shit, 6 to 12 months. They put a lien on your house 6 to 12 months. You have a redemption period for 1 to 3 years. So different states, Texas and Georgia, you could lose your home in 1 year.
Peekable.
In average states like Florida, Illinois, and Michigan, 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, it's like 3 years. I think. I'm in the Midwest.
Longer states like New York, it could take 3 to 5 years. But if you live in Texas, Georgia, you don't pay your property tax for 1 year, they're taking your house.
Flip them up.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been real.
Justice culture. Shot, thank you.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
You don't need conspiracy when the truth is better.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.